Okay, hello again. We are live on the Edlow podcast. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. I am here with another legend in the pro wrestling industry. Very excited about this one. I have Lisa Marie Varon. Lisa, thank you for coming on the podcast and indulging us. I say legend because I believe that because when you started pro wrestling, I would say at least when you debuted in the WW, were you still with the WWF or was it WWE when
It
you
was
got
WWF. Yes,
there?
yes.
Yeah,
With the
yeah,
Godfather, I was one of the hoes.
yeah.
Yes, and then it
Well,
transitioned to WWE. Yes,
well, that's one
yes.
of the things that I think is so interesting is you were there when women's wrestling was really not taken seriously. It was more, it was more about puppies and what
Eye
are they
candy.
wearing?
Yes, yes. Eye
Yeah,
candy. Yes, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And I'm not too like I'm not responsible for that at all. I just want
Right.
to let everybody know. Fit Finley was in charge, like when he was new, when he got brought on to WWE or WWF, whatever you want to call it. He was given the girls. It was a last minute thing, and he goes, "Okay, you want me to take over the girls? I'm going to make them fighters. They're not going to be fluff." And
Mm,
he took us way serious and made us tough as nails and dove into our personalities and kind of learned what made us tick. And I learned a little bit more old school wrestling, like storytelling in the matches. And he was like, "Wow, you wrestle very like a psycho." And I go, "Oh well, I'm Memphis style. We wrestle very exaggerated facial expressions. So if we're not on camera, the person in the last row seats up on the bleachers can see what we're doing, and we're so like I had to tone down how exaggerated I was." But yeah, which was very difficult to do.
mm.
Yeah, it's like it's reteaching yourself on TV and how to you're kind of giving away, you're going to give a clothesline and stuff like that. I go, but yeah, I'm winding up. I'm winding up. So I want the people to know, oh no, it's going down. Yeah, but Fit Finley was the one that took us individually. Jazz is the strong chick. Myself as the psycho, like badass, and yeah, it was like he was like our dad
Mm.
in wrestling. Like we could like if we had any complaints or anything like why is this happening? Why is this happening? We can talk to him without it getting to the office because he was more like our therapist too. Because
Yeah.
we're on the road 4 days a week and
Mhm.
away from our family, and to vent, you have someone to rely on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
Now
yeah.
now let me ask you, did you when you growing up, I read about you. I know you had 3 brothers. They were all wrestlers, but as far as WWF, were you a pro wrestling fan growing up?
No, knew nothing about it. Nothing. I
Mm,
knew like Hulk Hogan and just the commercials and stuff like that. The Rock, I knew Chyna and stuff, like that. And Torrie Wilson brought me backstage in WCW,
mm,
and uh, she was a valet manager,
mhm,
eye
mhm,
candy. And I go, "You get paid to do this job just to go walk a guy to the ring?" And uh, we knew each other from fitness competitions,
mhm,
not bodybuilding or modeling. It was fitness competitions.
mhm,
And I like to tell people because everyone calls me a fitness model. I wasn't a model. I
mm,
competed, and
mhm.
yeah, so it's completely different. I would love to have been a model. I wouldn't have damaged my body doing these obstacle courses and dance routines and
Right.
gymnastics, right? When she was trying to get me into WCW, they weren't hiring anymore. That's when they were kind of going down a little bit. I think they're,
Mm,
you know, the reputation was it was a good product, don't get me wrong, but I think business wise it wasn't going well. And she tried, but I met Chyna at a health club. It was called Crunch, and it was in West Hollywood in Los Angeles.
mhm,
And I met her, and we started chit chatting. I go, "I have a couple friends that I know from the fitness industry that are in your business, Trish Stratus and Torrie Wilson." And I was pretty jacked, long hair and like fake nails and all that stuff. And she goes, "You have a good look. Are you a wrestler?" And I was like, no, but I think I can do what Rey Mysterio and RVD do because I was a gymnast growing up.
Sure.
And I was more intrigued by the flyers and stuff like that. And she goes, you really need to look into it. And then on our way out of the gym, we took a hip hop class together too. Not as good friends, but I just that was my class that I said, let me take my break. I want to take that class because I danced history too. And she gave me the address where to send my resume and all that kind of stuff. And I worked on a tryout video on VHS. I paid $600 for this VHS. $600. Old school, but $600 because I paid for the graphics of me punching the screen and on my boxing glove, which is it's not boxing, right? It said Lisa Marie Varon. And it was and then music editing and stuff like that, transitioning, and sent a resume and my fitness competitions. When you're a fitness competitor, you do get photo shoots. They do it because they're like, oh, this person got first place, this person got second place, this person, like that kind of thing, and does your background history. I sent it in, not thinking I'm gonna my ex-husband helped me with this whole resume. He goes, you don't promote yourself half-assed. You have to be professional. And being in LA, everything's at your hands. Like, okay, here's an editor, here's a graphic person, all that kind of stuff, the music guy. And sent my stuff in and got a call from Kevin Kelly. And he goes, hey, JR, Jim Ross, received your tryout package. And he's never seen anything so professional ever. And we would like to meet you at the Staples Center in LA since you're in Los Angeles. Do you have wrestling background? And I told him about my brothers, my oldest brother getting the gold in the Pan Am Olympics, and being a tomboy, bodybuilder, that kind of stuff, and gymnast and stuff like that. I said, no, but I'm a quick learner. And I go, what do you see me doing? Do you see me doing what Torrie, like as a valet or a manager? They're like, actually, we see you wrestling. And I was like, oh boy. And they're like, do you have wrestling experience? And I go, I don't, but I've been around it my entire life as a kid. Not that I went to wrestle or anything like that. And they said, we would like to meet you in 30 days. I Googled, it wasn't Google. I don't know what the hell it was on internet, but I put pro wrestling school, how to learn pro wrestling or something like that. And one school came up, UPW in Huntington Beach, and was like 3-hour drive to it. And I called them and I said, hey, would it be okay I attend some of your classes? WWF wants to meet me in 30 days and I need to learn how to wrestle in 30 days. Stupid me. You can't learn how to wrestle in 30 days. I'm thinking as a gymnast, cheerleader, dance routine, I'm thinking it's a route you memorize from beginning to end. And that's not the case. Okay. And went to the school, fake nails, my hair, like my matching workout gear. I had my makeup on, and they beat the shit out of me. I'm gonna be honest with you. They beat the crap out of me. They're like going, who's this chick? We've been trying to get recognized by WWF or WCW for 15 years. And I'm naive coming into this business, and beat the hell out of me. I came back the next day and they're like, oh, hey, what are you doing here? And I said, you guys told me to come back tomorrow. I'm here. I can't turn my head to left, but I need to learn how to wrestle in 29 days now. And that's when they started they were like, oh shit, we bumped the hell out of her. I didn't know what bumping was. They just run the ropes. They want to make you puke and want to, get everything out of you. Right. And I was a competitor, and growing up with great brothers and just a very competitive family. Samoa Joe took me to the side. The school had Samoa Joe, Kazarian, Christopher Daniels, Jerry Lynn, Heidenreich, all these superstars there that they ended up making it on television. And he took me to the side. He goes, okay, I'm gonna teach you how to lock up. just locking up at the beginning. He took me on his wing, and he goes, we didn't think you were going to come back. We try to, make it, see what you got. And
well, that's an interesting thing, because I remember UPW from that era, and man, there were a lot of names there that would come up to Sacramento and San Francisco, work for All Pro Wrestling and different places like that. You have the who's who of everybody who is now superstars. I think John Cena went through there for a little while too.
Yeah, John Cena was there. Yeah, John Cena was there. Yeah, he was there. And as the prototype.
Yeah,
that was his character. But there was, I know I'm skipping names. There was just a lot of people that made it from that school. And I heard there was an opening for Godfather Hose. Of course, that's not what I wanted to do, right? But I knew that was my foot in the door.
Right.
When Bruce Pritchard came to the school, my first character in UPW was HBIC, head bitch in charge. I was more like a Stacy Keebler, glasses and
like
suit
the Miss
with
Hancock
a short skirt. Yeah, exactly. And I did that and took a couple bumps, which was not even really wrestling. You know what I mean? It was just taking a bump. And I went to meet Godfather and his wife backstage, and his wife basically talked to myself and the other girl that was in UPW. Her real name was Frosty, but she was known as Mandy, and her and I ended up being the head hose at the Godfather. And we got the okay from the wife because she wanted to make sure that we're all serious about business. They usually got the Godfather hose from strip clubs, local strip clubs. And, you're not going to get you're going to get dancers like they're like, oh, I just get to be on TV. You know what I mean? So that was my foot in the door, and Godfather turned on the hose and threw me through the table. I was like, yes, I'll go through the table. I go to wrestling school. Threw me through the table. Didn't know it was going to take me off TV. And Brooklyn Brawler, JR, and not JR, Jerry Lawler says, you should move to Memphis. That's more of a Memphis Championship Wrestling, owned by Jerry Lawler. It's a little bit, we even trained to be on TV because they had Power Pro for TV on the I forgot what station, I'll be honest with you. And I went to JR and I said, hey, Jerry Lawler is saying I should move to Memphis to be more serious about wrestling. And they're like, oh, you want to be a wrestler? And I'm like,
that's what you signed me up for.
Do you not know this? And so they had it. He goes, okay, we'll have a meeting about you. Came back the next week to be a Godfather Ho. And Kevin Kelly said, hey, how fast can you get to Memphis? And I go, when do you need me by? I'm game. And they're like, we need you there next week. My ex-husband and I packed up our U-Haul, lost our first and last month rent in West Hollywood, moved to Memphis. And then I was there for a year. And all those people, Umaga, Rosie, Dragon, Brian Danielson,
Brian Johnson,
Spanky, everybody who's there. Everybody. Molly Holly was there. We were trained by Bobby Eaton, Regal, Dave Taylor, like all these legends came in to train us. And it was owned by WWE, it was one of our developmental schools.
Sure.
And was there for a year. That one closed down, and I got moved to Louisville, Kentucky with OVW. And everyone in my class ended up in TV. And can I just say, OVW, it's serious. It's all day training, no days off. We trained Monday through Friday. We had shows Saturday and Sunday, either at a gas station, a church, or something like that, just to get experience and stuff like that. No days off. And that was Dave Bautista, John Cena, Rico Constantino, Shelton Benjamin, Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar. Oh my gosh. I know Jazz, Nydia.
So the guy who trained me was there. Johnny Jeter was there for a while.
Johnny Jeter. Yeah, he came a little bit later. Yeah. And he's a San Diego boy too. And it like everybody there, like it was it was serious. It was like medical school,
Yeah.
Opposed to community college. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
And it was Eugene, Rob Conway. Eugene, I would get to class before class started
Mm-hmm.
to work in the ring privately because I didn't know shit. I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
what the hell. Like, it was awful. I was very green. And Danny Davis and Jim Cornette took me, under their wing, and just it was life changing. I mean, talk about sacrifice. There's no day off. Like, you don't have family life. It's just, it's 6 hours a day training. You go to the gym afterwards, go tan, get ready for the shows on the week, that kind of stuff. And then it's just like every day is the same thing. It's like you go through, okay, now we're going to do drills. And it was incredible. I didn't feel worthy enough to be there because I was so green, but they took me serious and saw something in me that they took me under their wing and made me what I was. And I got asked to be brought up on television a couple times, got to the airport in Louisville and said they changed their mind. I would go back to class. They're like, what are you doing? You're supposed to fly out. And I go, they changed their mind, which was, at the time I was sad, but I didn't show it. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, this is a test. Stone Cold told me this is a test. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Not pride. Like he goes, you're moving to Memphis? I lived on sugar packets and potatoes there. And I go, oh my God, they're really putting me through the ringer because you don't get paid very much to live. And it was a blessing every time I got sent back because I got the Psycho character. Finley was there. And it was just, it blossomed into, not to say I was ready to be brought up, because I always felt not ready. And all through my career, I never felt ready. I felt green, going, what do I do better? Am I going to get fired? Am I good enough out there? Am I pretty enough? I'm not feminine. I'm a more masculine character. Are they happy with me? You're always questioning yourself. And I think that makes you go, and get better and better and better in the ring, because you want to perfect, and there's no such thing as perfection.
Right.
Get better in the ring. How do I mix up my repertoire? How do I look tough? I'm like, okay, I need to learn. When I even got brought up there, us girls would get there 3 hours before call time and get in the ring with Arn Anderson, Ricky Steamboat, Regal, Dave Taylor, Fit Finley, Ric Flair. Like, everybody would show up to help us girls. So yeah, it was amazing.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
So you mentioned what I was commonly referred to as kind of like imposter syndrome, right? Like you kind of felt like you weren't good enough to be there.
Yeah.
Did you feel that way? Like when you're doing fitness competitions, did you feel the same way, or was it specifically in wrestling?
I think all through my growing up stage, I was a tomboy. I wasn't the, even when I was a cheerleader, I was the base, and not being, the boobs and the butt, and being, blonde hair. And I ended up dyeing my hair in school to be blonde and stuff like that with sun-in. But I think, and my parents never ingrained this in us at all. I think having brothers that were so successful ingrained it in my head. I got to achieve. I got to be the best. I got to be the best. I got to be the best. And very competitive family. You know what I mean? So I think that was ingrained when I was younger. I was never happy with a B on my report card. I had to get A's. And I remember doing track. I was in track. I got a C- or C, a C on my report card in geometry in 8th grade. I broke out in hives. I went to my coach on my track, and she goes, you need to take the day off. And I went to go see my teacher, Miss Penoyer, and I go, you gave me a C. She goes, oh, that's incorrect. And I go, and I had red plots, like just rashes all over my body because I broke out in hives because I was so competitive. And it was ingrained in me. I never got punished. I never even had to show my report card to my parents.
Right.
They just knew we were good kids. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, naughty, but competitive and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, what I think is so interesting is particularly with people who are highly successful and highly competitive, because I'm kind of the same way. I'm a lawyer. I've done a lot of pretty, been pretty successful in my life, and
Yeah.
but I think that I feel the same way, and it drives you to work a little bit harder than other people do, which makes you a
Yeah.
little more successful than other people are.
Yes. And you want to achieve better and better and better. And you're like, still like, okay, I did this, but you're like, oh, that's not good enough. And you still want to achieve more, right? I think it's also about like how we grew up, not, just an education, going to
Right.
college and stuff like that, being competitive, that kind of thing, being, it, that's, it sets your future, I think. That's why I
Yeah.
always tell people, I tell kids when they want to get wrestling, you still need to go to college. You got to have
Yeah.
a backup plan. You don't know when you're going to break your leg or something goes wrong in the ring. What are you going to do next? You got to have a backup plan,
Now, so moving on with your wrestling career, you get there and you're clearly properly trained going to Memphis and then going to OVW. You're trained as a wrestler, which wasn't common, it seemed, for the women when you got there. Like, say, I know Torrie Wilson's a good friend of yours, but as far
Yeah.
as pro wrestling training,
Right.
she was on the job training, so she didn't get that base that you got. But it seemed like really your feud with Trish Stratus was kind of one of the catalysts for moving that along. How did that happen? And what were kind of, I mean, I know Finley had something to do with it, but what was the reaction when you guys were having competitive wrestling matches?
Okay, keep in mind when we're up on TV, people still we had developmental territories, okay, that were owned by WWE to see the future, who's the next girl coming up. And Trish watched my tapes of me in OVW, and she was like, oh my God. She goes, me being humongous, her being tiny, and like, the underdog, that'd be a great feud. And she wanted me to come up, and I don't know whose storyline idea, but Trish wanted me to come up to have a feud with her. And of course I knew nothing, you know what I mean? And Fit was like, hey, get in the ring, let's grapple. And I'm like, oh geez, oh my God. And I remember him giving me a clothesline, and he freaking laid it in. And I was like, of course you fight the tears. And I'm like, he wanted to see how tough you are, and not to beat you up. There's a safe place to do it, but I thought him being a bigger man, he was going to take it easy on me. And I don't know how it happened. Me coming from fitness background, and Trish, I think maybe Trish came up with the storyline of me like, hey, you left me behind in fitness. We were friends back in the day, and you left me behind. You said you're never going to leave me behind. So that's how the angle went. And Fit was a little bit more of the catalyst, like, why end this in like 3 matches? It should prolong for a long time. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was an amazing intro, and always nervous, and doing the Survivor Series, the hardcore match. I broke my nose, chipped my tooth, and got a big lump on my head. And I remember the referee going, do you want me to end this match? And I was like, hell no, I'm winning the championship. I gotta get up and still finish it.
Right.
And yeah, and adrenaline's an amazing drug when, like, you don't even know you're hurt at the time.
Yeah.
You just see the blood, and I'm like, oh, I didn't realize I broke my nose until late, like the next day. I was like, oh, my nose, it hurts, and it was crooked. Yeah, and but it's like when I first went to TV, don't forget the big wigs. They still want to see who the future wrestling is, because they all cared about who's coming up to represent our company. And I remember going backstage, and I saw The Rock. I knew who The Rock was, and I didn't know to call him Dwayne or The Rock. And I go, hi, my name is Lisa. And he goes, oh, you're Victoria in OVW. We heard so much about you. And I go, oh my gosh, thank you. And I go, man, I need to work on my promos. I'm not a good speaker on the mic. And he goes, oh, I was lousy when I started. And I go, well, you're the king of the mic. oh my gosh. And he goes, just keep at it. And I walked away. Of course, I'm marking out. I was like trying to
but
be
you can't
like,
show it. You can't show it.
Exactly. And I go, holy shit, you guys. The Rock knew who I was. Oh my God. Yeah. It was incredible. It was really incredible. We had a great division. We were all very close. We weren't, of course, we were all fighting for that one match because we only got one match at a time. And we still had the bra and panties matches. And if we got the bra and panties or the lingerie matches, we're like, okay, we're going to make the fans forget that we're wearing something skimpy. We're going to have a killer match and kill each other out there where they're going, oh my God, you know, they forgot that we're in bra and panties. Let me have a great cutoff spot. But it was incredible. We were all very supportive. We all wanted to make the division better and better and better and better. And we all watched each other backstage on the, you know, from the screen. You know, we had a big TV backstage. We don't watch it live. And they would come back and they're like, oh my God, that was a great match. And everybody would fight to have angles with each other, you know? So,
So curious, you know, the thing about progress that I've seen over my life is progress is not a straight line. It's peaks and valleys. And progress when it comes to, you know, the women's division in wrestling, I got to imagine that as you're having these competitive matches, I mean, I think you were in the first women's steel cage match. You're in the first hardcore match. You're doing these things where you're kind of doing these things. So did you ever feel kind of like this is beneath me when they're like, okay, now we want you to do a bra and panties match?
Oh, no. You know what? Of course, we all rolled our eyes. Every single one of us, even the ones that look good in a bikini and bra and panties, they were like, oh, we would roll our eyes, but we're like, you don't say no to the office. You know, it's the writers and producers and stuff like that. Okay, you want bra and panties? We're going to kill each other out there. But, you know, we're not going to say we're not going to do it. You don't, come on. It's a show. It's entertainment. Don't forget. Okay. And there's sex appeal too, being sexy women. And when they started giving me the hardcore matches, the steel cage and the ladder matches and stuff like that, I felt very flattered because they knew I could pull through. I can do it. But every time I would come to TV, when I came back and I was like, they're like, hey, you guys have a cage match. And I go, shut up. They're like, I'm serious. And Finley was a jokester a lot. And I go, shut up. I don't believe you. And he goes, I'm serious. And I go, tonight? I've never been in a steel cage match. And, you know, what the hell, man? They should have called us the night before to kind of mentally prepare for this. And I remember doing the steel cage match. And I said, I want a gig, which means get color. Bleed. And I told Fit, I go, I want to get color. And he goes, you went to go talk to Vince. Victoria wants to get color. He said, no one wants to see a diva bleed. And I'm like, what? Are you serious? And I go, let the referee make me bleed. Let him blade me. And he goes, oh, no. And I go, well, why don't you come out and run out and take care of our divas and you blade me. And no, I went to Vince. I only talked to Vince like 4 times in my career. That's it. You know, it's not like we're buddies and stuff like that. We would say hi and stuff, like we knew he was busy and stuff like that. But I went up to him, I go, hey, Vince, I want to get color in our match. And he goes, I heard, Victoria, please, we appreciate this, but no, we don't want to see women bleed on the show. And I'm like, oh, man. So there was one spot, I told Lita, throw me as hard as you can against the steel cage. And it was steel cage. Like, it's real. It's not phony. It's not filed down. She threw me as hard as she could. I went boom, and I came back. I only got a lump. And there's a technique to get blood. You scrape your head because it's not smooth gate, right? It's not a smooth gate, right? I should have slid down to cut myself, and didn't do it right. And I was like, I just had a lump, and I go, I tried to get color on my own the hard way. It's called the hard way, real. Didn't work out, but I tried. But it was, and like when I had that the hardcore match on Survivor Series at Madison Square Garden against Trish, I did get color on my nose. That's when I broke my nose and I saw blood, and I was like, oh, but when you break your nose, your eyes water. I don't know if you've ever broke your nose before.
I've never broken it, but I've been punched in the nose a couple times. Yeah.
So your eyes water. You can't see, and it makes you like, where am I? What is happening? And then referee goes, you want me to end it? And I said, tell her to stay away. I can't see. Let me roll out of the ring. Let me get my bearings. And I was just I never turn anything down. You give me a pillow fight, I'm gonna make it freaking a good pillow fight. You know what I mean? Like, you just give me anything. That's when I went to TNA. They're like, I go, let me just prove to you. You give me any match, I'm a workaholic. I want to do well. I wanted people to remember. You know what I mean? So yeah. I didn't want to have the best match out of girls' matches. I wanted to have the best match on the card.
Yeah,
that's what Fit Finley made us.
So so you went straight to the show pretty much. I mean, you had a bit of an indie circuit thing when you're going with
WW. No, that was not in. Well, that's developmental territory. So it's not. It's like indie shows. You just show up Saturday and you wrestle.
Right.
I got hired directly into developmental territory.
Right. So I guess. Yeah. So I guess my question was, how was it going from the WWE to TNA? How was that as somebody who never kind of really came up through the indie circuits?
Well, I had a 9-year career at WWE, so I had, I think they had confidence with me. TNA, the office and stuff like that. I was scared being accepted in a locker room because I didn't want them to think, oh, who's this WWE diva coming into the TNA knockouts? And, we took pride in my generation. We all got along. If we had a problem with each other, let's sit down in a circle. Let's get it out. We had to work with each other.
Sure.
And if you don't get along with your fellow worker, you're not going to have a good match. Right. You're always going to think, are they going to really try to hurt me? And I was scared going to the TNA locker room to be accepted. And I felt uncomfortable. I remember going to the tables going, hi, my name is Lisa. And then Christopher Daniels goes, hey, Lisa, this is not WWE. You don't have to introduce yourself to every single person. And I'm like going, I'm just being nice. I don't know if anybody knows me. I go, this is not just because of the business. I'm trying to introduce myself as a person. And it was more lenient then, like in TNA. It wasn't more like where we would ask, we would nitpick Fit Finley. Hey, do you think this will work in this situation? When my first match there, they were like, I go, what do you want out of this match? Oh, you do you. And I'm like, oh, that's too much freedom. I go, are we continuing on with this angle? Or are we just doing this match to establish me? Or are we continuing on? That depends on how you do the match. I'm not going to go out there and beat ass. If it's going to continue on, let's have a grappling, move on, cheat. I have revenge. You know what I mean? You have to know where you're going. And thank God Jim Cornette was there when I first got brought up there, because I kept on picking his brain. And I go, can you come and talk to me? I go, I don't want them to think I'm second guessing myself. Can you talk to me privately? I go, I need more guidance. I don't know what they want. I can go out there and do every single move. Then what else do I have for the other matches? But, I became really good friends with the TNA locker room. But it was a lot of, we only worked 4-5 days per month because they would do all the shows, you know what I mean? And we were allowed to do independent matches on those days. But I enjoyed my time there, honestly. Nothing to complain about. They were just not organized. Okay, not now. TNA is great now with who's in charge and all that kind of stuff. But back in the day, I was on Twitter. And I was going, hey, I can't wait to see you on the pay-per-view tomorrow. And I was like, I'm on the pay-per-view? Am I on the pay-per-view? And I called the office. I go, it's Saturday. Pay-per-view's tomorrow. I go, I don't have a flight. They're like, oh my gosh, we're sending you a flight now. I go, oh my God, I got to pack. Oh, I got to wash my gear. You know what I mean? I go, oh no, I got to put self-tanner on. I was like, oh my God. And so I was used to, WWE has there's a department for everything.
Yeah.
Everything you needed. Yeah, you contact this person, they handle this. TNA was just free for all, but now it's very organized. You know, so yeah. And
It's funny.
they're strong there.
It's funny you bring that up because I think it was probably 2009. I'm pretty sure you weren't on the card at that point, but I did some work with. They were Impact at that point, and they had me doing all the promotion and doing the ring rental and all that for them when they came to Sacramento and San Francisco. And I got a little bit of that from them because things would change on the hour. And I would be like, okay. So then like one day, the second day of the show or of the tour, they were like, hey, we're going to do a gut check tomorrow. And I was working. I was in law school. Yeah. They wanted to do a gut check. And they were like, we're going to do a gut check tomorrow at 7 a.m. So we need the ring there by, 5:30 or whatever. And I'm like, guys, I work. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna.
You have a shoot job. You have a normal job.
Yeah.
Like, give me a little bit more notice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't do
like,
they didn't do great. They didn't do great promotions like back in my generation. Okay, they didn't advertise, and so I remember looking out in the curtain, and I'm like, wow, the show starts in 2 hours, and Pope is there, Elijah Burke. And I look out and he goes, we had great relationship. We were in OVW together and we traveled together too. And I go, when are the doors opening? And he goes, they've been open for an hour. And I go, what? Oh my God. And then we would check into hotels. And, this was my thing. You're going to laugh at me. But every time even I travel on house shows, we were independent contractors. We pay for our own hotels and rental cars and all that stuff. And so my people made fun of me, but I was like, hey, are you a wrestling fan? They're like, yeah. I go, well, we have a wrestling show at this thing. Do you want tickets? Is your family? Do you have kids? You want to bring it? If you can give me a discount on my hotel room, I can get you tickets to the show. They're like, when is wrestling in town? And I'm like, the arena is like 2 miles away and they don't even know there's a show.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that was, but it's changed now. Don't get me, okay, social media is different. It's not the perks now, but that was the difference. I was like going, how do they not know we have a show? And it was crazy.
It was funny. It was funny. My experience was because I got the call, I think like 3 weeks.
You have to build a ring too?
No, I have a ring. I own a ring. But they called me 3 weeks before the shows and they're like, we'd like to use your ring and have you do all the promotion. And I'm like, okay, cool. But like, you're 3 weeks out. You don't have a ring. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of that situation. And then, and it was like you said, it was kind of very much unorganized. I just remember them telling me, they're like, we're going to do a gut check tomorrow. We need you to set it up at 5:30 in the morning because Good Day Sacramento is going to do a thing too. And I go, guys, like, you can't just spring this on me like last minute. I got kids, I work, like, and so I was like, I'm gonna, at the time I was like, I'm gonna lose a day of work now. I need to get paid a little more to do that because, I'm not doing this. I'm not a guy who's just doing this stuff for free. You know what I mean? Like, and so they were totally cool. I worked with Bob Rosen, who's the ring guy, and I worked with
he's still there, I think.
Yeah, he's with AEW now. I still keep
I saw him at AEW. Yeah. I went to AEW and I saw him. I go, oh, do I still have his number? I still have his number.
Yeah. He's one of my favorite. One of my favorite guys. He's so good. But anyway, it was just kind of like fly by the seat of the pants, and they had great shows. I mean,
they did.
It was great. I just wish the promotion had been a little stronger.
Yeah, and also too, when I went I didn't plan on going to TNA from WWE. I just I knew that the championship was not in my future in WWE. I was more of an enhancement. I made girls look good. This is why my forte is I'll make the girls look good. I'm a heel. I can make an asshole out of myself. I don't care. They didn't cheer for the baby face, and that's why everybody wanted to work with me because I was easygoing. I never got mad if something got messed up. What kind of move? What do you want to get in the ring? What do you want moves you want to get in there? Okay, I gotcha. Let's do it. And I was too giving. It was kind of I was too later. You're too giving. It's not believable. You're Goliath, and you're giving them like they can't do that kind of move on you. And this was psychology back then.
Sure.
And so I remember my retirement match, they started chanting TNA, TNA, TNA. And they reached out to me in my 3-month no compete clause. They wanted me to sign in a weekend. I said, send me the contract. Let me think about it. And let me send it to my lawyer. Let him look at it. Oh, we want to debut in 3 days. I was like, what? So I'm waiting for the contract. There was only 30 pages on the contract. And I go, I'm waiting for the rest. And he goes, oh no, that's how many pages did you get? I go, 30. WWE it's a dictionary.
Yeah.
That's how big the contract is. And I was like, it was a huge pay cut. I'm telling you. It 1/4 of what I was it was, and that's and they wanted to sign me for 3 years. I might be exaggerating. It was not great, okay? And I said, they want to sign me for 3 years, and I said, let me sign up for a year. I'm telling you, you give me any match, I'm going to give 110%, and you won't regret hiring me because I'm easy to work with, and I'm going to make a killer match. I'm not conceited, but I'm going to work my ass off to have a freaking good match.
Right.
You know, and I go, give me a year, and you decide if I need a increase on my pay. The increase in the pay. Okay, this is my generation. Okay, my contract relapsed. Here, sign it, and I go, wait, I need it. I just told you guys a year ago. I want to prove myself what a good worker I am, and how easygoing I am, and I got you got to give me a little bit more pay, and that was a difference, you know, like being rewarded for your good work.
Right.
And it's I'm not shitting on TNA. It was just unorganized in my generation. We did not know who to go to. I have this store idea. Who do I go to? Vince Russo. And I love Vince Russo. He was great. You know what I mean? And I got along with everybody. I didn't really have an enemy in my generation. My whole focus was like, you have good matches with your good friends, and you need to get along regardless. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
So now through wrestling, I mean, now as you're moving forward, what are some of the lessons you learned in your time in WWE and TNA that you've carried on now in life?
Okay. Thank you for asking me that. When I have advice for people that are in the business already, I tell them, save your money. You know, you're making the dough at the time. Well, they're probably making more money now than, you know, I never owned Louis Vuittons. I never owned Chanel. I didn't even know what that brand was. I would go to the thrift shops. How could I make this into gear? You know, not to say that they were, you know, we're frugal because we were in to pay for our own rental cars and, you know, hotel, and all of us, like 4 of us, rented a car together. But save your money, because you don't know what's going to happen when you're out and you're just like, oh shoot, I just tore my knee. And then you're out of a storyline and they're not interested anymore. Someone else better came along. And save your gear, mark the day you wrestled in it, because in the future you can sell it as, you know, to make money in the future. You know, I have a live auction I do. And I hustle. After wrestling, you know, I don't get a royalty check. You know, there's no videos anymore. You know, everything's online. There's no magazines, no paper. And, you know, I'm still independent. I have to do my hustling. I got it. You know, I have an OnlyFans, but it's PG. PG. I don't do anything nasty, feet and all that stuff. And I just started my own Twitch thing, you know, my Twitch TV, and just doing watch-alongs of my matches and reacting. I do commentary like, oh my God, I messed up there. I'm going to tell you how it is, you know, but, you know, be humble. Don't be conceited and think you're better than your opponent, because you're not, because it takes 2 to tango. You're only as good as your opponent. Keep your ears open and, you know, mouth shut at the same time. Why am I losing this match? It's a freaking storyline. This is entertainment. It doesn't mean you're less on the show. This is not UFC. You know, this is not, this is entertainment. And the humbleness is key. And I think what a lost art too in wrestling, this is all wrestling related, but with the money thing is outside. Okay, save your money, think of the future, and have a college education, and learn how to call a match, which means you don't have to. Okay, we're going to lock up. Now I'm going to take your arm. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm this. In our generation, we called a match, which means we don't memorize. If the fans are not buying, if they're cheering Victoria, I'm not doing my job. I got a freaking nasty, and I would tell the girl, you better cover your freaking face. Of course, you know, I wouldn't say freaking, but you know, I go cover up. I have to go nuts and get these people. Man, she's punching. Get her off, and get them to hate me. And if they're still cheering for me, the heel has to have good ears. Okay. I have to learn to listen, like, oh my God, they're not cheering for her. I gotta fix this. And, you know, I wasn't the cookie cutter kind of diva or wrestler with the model-esque body, that kind of thing. And the girls, I had a lot of girl fans. Okay. The girl fans. And I was like, oh my God, that section's cheering for me. So I'd go out there, I roll out. I would say to the girl, I'm going to knock you out. You stay down. I roll out of the ring, go to that section that's cheering for me. And the girl's like, oh my God, I love you, Victoria. And I go, hey, is that your boyfriend? Yeah. Oh, he's not dreaming about you at night. And then they were like, oh, how offensive, right? And all the people behind him were like, what'd she say? What'd she say? Boo! There you go. You hate me. That's why I'm a bad guy. You're supposed to hate me. But you know, it's you're not better than anybody else. You need to be easy to work with and not snobby. You can be humble, that kind of thing. You know, my God, when you introduce me as a legend, I'm uncomfortable with that. I don't know why. I'm kind of normal, like normal. I'm crazy still. I'm wild, but I still have to clean up my pee-pee pads. I have to load up the dishwasher. I got to steam clean the carpets. I'm like, oh my God, I got to go to the post office. I have shipping to do. Like, I still lead a normal life. I'm like, okay, my boyfriend will be home in a bit, and I like to make him a bath when he gets home because he works all day, and have something relaxing, you know, like, sorry, I've been doing my auction all day. Let me make you a bath, and let me have something hot and ready to eat. You know what I mean? I still, you know, that kind of thing. Did I answer without going off on too much of a
you did, but you know what I find so fascinating about this is that I think it's so amazing that you are so down to earth, considering that you are one of the pioneers of what is now women's wrestling. And I think that that's so interesting because there are a lot of wrestlers out there who kind of believe their own hype. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of guys out there.
Yes, I completely agree with you. My pet peeve also too, for you wrestlers out there that do conventions and Comic Cons or Wrestle Cons or whatever conventions or a signing, stay off your damn phone. Good God, can you not go on social media and see how many likes you get? I think it's very rude. Like I told you, I have a no phone after 5 p.m. rule in my house. Social Dilemma on Netflix ruined me. Family time, like Wednesdays and Saturdays are my boyfriend's day off. You know, we've been together for 6 years. I mean, like, you know, I don't like to be on the phone unless it's necessary that I have to promote something or go on social media. Hey, don't forget, I have a Twitch tomorrow, you know, like that kind of, but I let him know. I go, I gotta promote this. He goes, you don't have to explain. I go, yeah, but I told you our rule, you know, but when I have my phone, you might see my phone to do the Venmo or the credit card
to get the pay,
Or like if I'm like, hey, can I take a picture with you? If I see someone dressed up as Ric Flair, can I take a picture with you? I'll give it to the person next to me. I go, can you post this on my Instagram? And they're like, well, what do you want me to do this description? I go, just say where I'm at and this person dressed up like Ric Flair. Just, you don't have to do hashtags or anything. I give it to somebody else to do it because it's rude to the fans, I don't do podcast interviews at my appearances ever, ever. That's not the time and place for it. We could, like you and I'm at my home. I have no distractions at all.
Right.
You have my time and attention. If you get me at a convention, I'm going to see a friend and you're not going to get a great interview anyways. And it's rude to the fans. They are like going in line to see you or get an autograph and say, I remember this moment. Do you remember me? I high-fived you in the ring and that kind of stuff. It's rude not to be there for these fans who, without the fans, you'd be nothing. Right. And you're not bigger than them. You're not a real fighter. I don't care. You can do all the acrobatics you want. And, you know, we phony punch and stuff like that. I'm not shitting on what we do. I'm not doing that. But you stay off your phone. There's a time and place to be on your phone. I give my phone to someone on the side that's helping me. And I give them my passcode. And I go, just make sure, like, you just let me know who's texting me. If it's my dad, no, what's he want? Because he's older. I don't want anything to happen, you know, like emergencies. But if someone's going, hey, what's up? I don't care. Just ignore it. But stay off your damn phone. Like I see so many people, even though you don't have anyone at your table, there's someone going to pass by. How many times you hear, I saw you on your phone. I didn't want to interrupt. Well, I'm here to be interrupted. I'm here for you. I'm not here to be on my phone. So that's also please, people. Yeah. I'm sorry. I see that so much, even with my good friends. It's rude. It's rude. And just, you know, we get paid to be at appearances. You're stealing money out of this person that hired you to be their pocket. They want to have someone 100% ready to go and make people happy, you know?
Yeah. No, and that's what I'm saying is it's so interesting.
I'm so corny. And it makes you think I'm like so politically correct, but you know, and also too, I'm 53. Okay. So being older, the appreciation and like for me, even still being remembered when I worked so long ago, it's weird to me. I'm just like, oh my God, you remember me? I'm like if I get recognized at Walmart, that's the most times I get recognized. Okay. Yeah. It's Walmart. And then I'm like, oh, I go, do you want to take a picture with me? And they're like, oh, can I? And I'm like, absolutely. I go, can you filter this? I don't come to Walmart with makeup on. But I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I think it's so interesting that you're so down to earth. It's actually a breath of fresh air because there's, like I said, I've done a lot of these podcasts with a lot of different people, a lot of different wrestlers, and even indie wrestlers, and they just are so into their own hype. And I just find it so interesting that you've been to the dance, you've done basically everything. You've been in WrestleMania, you've been the women's champion, you did all of those things, and yet, you know, you're still, you know, walking in Walmart with no makeup on and doing your own dishes, and you're just
I don't do the Walmart without makeup on. I'll have a little foundation on just in case. That taught me a lesson when they tagged me on the post. I go, oh my God, I can have this out. But also too, it's like when I went to Indies, okay, for me, people are shocked to this. I always threw up before matches. Really? I got nervous belly. There's so much pressure. We're not actors that are like, okay, retake that. That didn't go well. We got one shot to look good. Okay. Or get, you know, and God forbid we mess up. We're human. There might be oil or something slippery on the rope and we slipped. God forbid us fumble. Thank God I was a heel. If I fumbled, I would have a temper tantrum. So it'd be part of my character. Right. But my whole point, wait. Okay. When I went to Indies, I was like, oh my God, they're like, why are you so nervous? And I was like, even though it's not on television, like for me, like it's like when you're a rookie, you got to prove that you deserve to be there. You're in the middle of your career. How do I get better so I can stay? When you're a veteran, you can't mess up. Carry that rookie along, make sure they look good. You can't mess up. And we're human. And my fear was going to Indies after I was done with the companies. I didn't want people to go, God, she used to be a badass. Wow, she slowed down. What
Mm.
happened? Yeah, and that's when I decided, I had one match, main eventing. It was a girls and guys show. It was Masters of the Ring. Melina Perez. I got the mic. No one knew I was retiring. I grabbed the mic and I go, "Hey guys, thank you for coming to my last match." And the promoter was like, "We could have advertised as your last match," but I decided 15 minutes before, because I was puking and going, "Oh my God, we're main eventing. We got to kill each other out there. We got to do some dangerous stuff. The guys just performed. We can't just do a ha gaga match, and just do more character driven," which I appreciate character stuff. But I got so nervous, and I don't even know if I broke out in highs, but I was just a nervous wreck, threw up and just shaking. And I was like, "Man, this is not fun. I'm so nervous not to look bad out there." I forgot how it was to be, let's have a match. Let's have fun. High five.
Right.
Let's just have fun. Like a house show, non-televised. Let's have fun. Screw it. We mess up. We mess up. Let's continue. They don't know what we're doing out there. But I got so concerned about looking bad and not enjoying what I did, that I was so concerned what the fans thought of me, that I didn't enjoy it. And I was like, I gotta go. I gotta go. And then the girl goes, "I didn't know it was your last match. You got the belt. We gave you the belt. How do we give the back?" And I go, "Why don't you bring me back and say, I announce my retirement. Whoever wins this next match, I give the belt." Easily done. There you go.
Right.
I don't have to bump. You know what I mean? And I still do indies. I'll referee, I'll manage, I'll hit my widow's peak. What people want to see. They want to hit the finish. You know what I mean? I don't like just going to an indie show and doing a signing. That's very pompous to me. They're like, "Oh, you're not getting in the ring at all?" And I'm like,
Right.
"Yeah, this is bullshit. Let me go in there, at least like do a promo and like introduce the girls or give the belt or something,
Right.
So yeah, I'm not one that just goes, "Hey, give me the money. I'm out of here."
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you giving me the time. We're about up on the time that you gave me, and I appreciate that. But I wanted to ask you, if there was one thing that you hoped that people, like, I always ask the same question, someday you're going to pass away and there's going to be a funeral and someone's going to give you a eulogy. What do you hope is the one thing that someone says about Lisa Marie in her eulogy?
Ooh, I don't want to be known. Oh my God, dude. You wouldn't. Thank God you ended it with this, because I'm a sap, dude. I'm mush. Wow. Hold on. I hope this doesn't cut us off or anything like that. But
Oh no, it won't. It won't.
it won't? Okay. I don't want. They don't have to say I was the best wrestler, or I remember her finisher, or I want to be known as a good friend, a person they can talk to. Not conceited, a friend you could always talk to. Like I'm still friends with a lot of WWE and TNA girls and some indie girls. You know what I mean? I become really good friends with my fans, which is a double-edged sword sometimes when you're doing appearances. They always
Sure.
they all cut off other fans and go, "Hey," and I'm like, "I'm talking to somebody, dude."
Yeah.
But I don't want people to think that I'm crazy in a fun way. My psychotic thing, I'm not really a badass. I am mush. Even Tommy Dreamer, like, not to name drop, they said, "How did I last so long in this business?" I'm too sensitive. I always cared what people thought of me, and I just, I want to be known as a good friend, a good heart,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
caring.
Yeah.
And someone you can always call. And I don't have the right answers. I'm not I'm not a shrink. Like, I don't have the answers for everything, but I'm here to listen to. I might not give the great advice, but I'm here to listen to it. You know what I mean? And also, like, I think, like, to the wrestling fans, don't be so hate, don't hate so much. We are still people. And when they're not unhappy with the storyline, it's out of our hands. We don't have control of that. There's a producer, there's a writer, why did you do that? Well, that's what I was told to do. You know what I mean? And we are human, and please be kind and not belittle. We have feelings. I have feelings. I forgot what movie that is. Yes. You know what I mean? But it's not like I want people to remember me, not wrestling freaking. I was good in wrestling. I want people to know my personality and how much I care.
Yeah.
You bastard. You motherfucker.
Well, listen, I want to say as we wrap up, and I appreciate you giving me the time. This has been another special one for me because I've followed your career through WWE and TNA, and I've probably done 15 to 20 wrestling podcasts now, and I would say that I can tell that you are a good person, and
Thank you.
that as somebody who's been an indie wrestler, who's been around wrestling, who's been to Impact, who's actually been backstage in Royal Rumble one time, like done all that stuff. In this business, some people you question, and you're not one of them. I can tell.
There's not some people. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people. It's shocking to me. It shocks the hell out of me, like how I'm not going to say too confident. You always need to go backstage. I never went backstage going, oh my God, that was a killer match, dude. Oh my God, we killed it. We might come back like, did you hear that pop on that move? We might say that, but we would go, we didn't want a pat on our back going, that was a great match. We would go to feeling, what could I have done better? I know I screwed up on this part. Or that clothesline kind of, you could have laid it in a little bit more. We got better by knowing our flaws out there, so like that made us not, we were all, in my generation, we were all perfectionists. We just wanted to kill it. We wanted to kill it. And even if I hurt our feelings, like, tell me, oh man, you shouldn't have wore that outfit. Like, it was like for girls, like, oh my God, do I have wrinkles? Is my fat rolling over my freaking tights? Am I tan enough? Am I pretty? Do I look pretty out there? For me, I was very insecure because I was a muscular girl, not the stereotypical Barbie type. And always second guess, like, I didn't need to be pretty. I wanted to be like, hey, I'm mediocre. You know what I mean? With a good kick-ass like repertoire. You know what I mean? But you guys, in this business, you need to be humble. Appreciative to your fans, appreciative to your coworkers, and just appreciate, like, just getting the opportunity to get in the ring. Like, that's cloud nine. Like, our ring is making it to heaven. You know what I mean? Like, to have that opportunity to get into that ring is, even in the indie scene, if you're able to get in the ring, like, enjoy every moment. And I wish I enjoyed every single moment. That's what I also give advice for. Enjoy it and have a fun match. You don't have to be so stressed out there. I was a deer in headlights a lot, and I stressed a lot about, oh my God, are they going to react to this? Are they going to believe this? I was so worried about every single match. I forgot to have fun. And part of what we do is what we love and enjoy it. We don't enjoy what we do. We're so high on the freaking success. Am I used? Oh my God, I got the belt. Like Jesus Christ, you're on the card. Be appreciative of that. You know what I mean? Like that. And I wish I knew then what I know now. It's so sad. God, I feel like I sound like my parents or my grandparents. Oh gosh, I go, back at you should appreciate this, that you can get out of bed and put your socks on. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy though. It's like, Yeah. And don't forget, like after our interview too, like, could you DM me? I don't know. I don't think I follow
Oh,
your
absolutely.
social media, so I can do a video like when it's dropping the day
Oh, yeah.
before. Don't forget to tune in to this.
Yeah.
Email me. You know my email address.
I absolutely will. Well, real quick before we end up, I want to know
Yeah,
where are you?
I'm not
Where
cutting you
can?
off. I'm cutting you off, but
No,
I
no.
like promoting. Like I know what podcasts are all about. It's a hustle and bustle, and then you get cancellations, and you're like, someone wants to be on your show, and then they don't want to be on your show. So it's like it's not a 9 to 5 job. It is, you guys, the editing, the
Oh,
sound
yeah.
quality. You got to do the backdrop. Okay, let me do the intro now, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of work. That's why we have Got TV. We had to take a little break because all of our schedules were a little bit different too, and we just needed a 3 month. Let's revamp it to make it better quality and
Sure.
get re-energized, because this is a job. This is
Mm.
not just going, okay, I'm going to do a podcast for an hour. Okay, I'm done for the next 6 days. No.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Okay.
not.
What are you going to say?
Well, I was going to ask you for my listeners who've heard this, where can they find you?
You guys, if I'm sure you'll plug it in on my
I will.
on your podcast, but
I will.
uh really Marie is usually my my at real Lisa Marie, except my Facebooks. I know it's Lisa Marie Varon. I don't know. There's a lot of phonies of me, but I don't allow cursing and stuff like that. And I just started a Twitch, twitch.com/really Marie. I just started it. I'm 200 followers.
Hey, right on. You're getting there. Hey, you know what? This stuff is it is a long game getting this stuff going.
Oh
It
my
really is.
God, dude, it's hard. And you get people also too DMing me like on social media. I don't have that message on Facebook anymore. I deleted that option.
Right.
And on Instagram on DMs, people were asking about bookings on that, and I started it like automatic response, but then spam came through, so we had to delete that. But I cannot pick up all the social media DMs. You guys, forgive me. And people get really upset. Oh, well, you said hi or thank you the other day. I go, yeah, well, thank you for doing that art piece of me. I said, I really do appreciate it. I cannot respond like, I can't spend like, well, how many platforms? Thread. I have 2 Facebook pages. One was supposed to be just family. Screw that. It became a fan site. Yeah. Twitter, um, TikTok.
Right.
And what else? What else is there? Okay,
Oh,
I have an OnlyFans. Okay.
Instagram.
What
Yeah.
else is there? Instagram. There's too many damn platforms.
And I'm sure you're getting hit up all the time.
No, it's very flattering. Don't get me wrong, but I can't keep up with it. And
Sure.
like, my mom passed away not too, well, we went for anniversary, and my dad said, "Thank you for calling me." And I'm so busy keeping up with this. Not saying it's shit. I'm gonna say shit. I'm ignoring my freaking family for
Right.
social media and promoting my whatnot live auction, my freaking Twitch channel, all this stuff. And my dad goes, "Thank you for checking in on me." I'm in my 80s, and I was like, "Oh my God, we're at my mom's gravesite," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't need this guilt." So for the fans, please respect. Like, we need to put time in our family. Like, you have kids, your wife, and just and having to do this, and then your normal job.
Yeah.
It's time consuming, and people think we live on social media. Like, I had someone say, "Did you see what I posted the other day?" And I go, "No, I don't go scrolling. I don't scroll. I go, I post my stuff, and I try to stay off of it and try to, get my normal adulting, paying the bills, getting my storage. I don't have a car. I got rid of my car to have a less of a bill. We're normal, you guys. We're human. We struggle to pay our bills too. We're trying to just have a happy, normal we don't have to be super rich. I just want to be comfortable and not worry.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's a great life.
It is.
Well,
It is. I think people try to focus so much on going, I want to be rich. I want to have that mansion. My goal, you're going to laugh. I want a tiny home with a little yard. I follow a lot of tiny homes, or the container homes, or the compatible homes, or an RV. And like RV would be great. Like traveling with my dogs, my boyfriend, if he can get a job, like just being online. He works at a hospital. But going, okay, I'm tired of this town. Let's go to a next town. And then let me do my what not live auctions. You know what I mean? And just not having a mansion. I don't need any of this at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like, look at my backdrop, my pillow, and my stickers that I made. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a materialistic person. I'm just.
I can tell you from my experience, it's I grew up in a situation where my parents, all they fought about, my dad is a recovered drug addict, and he but all they fought about when I was a kid was drugs and money. So I figured if I never touch the drugs and I make all the money, I'll be happy. And I did. I never touched drugs and I made a bunch of money. And then I realized the big house, the fancy cars, that's not what brings the happiness. It's experiences, positive experiences with people you love. That's what life is all about.
It sounds so freaking corny. How old are you?
I'm 42. Almost 43.
Okay, you're young. I'm 53. But it sounds so corny. But honestly, I live in a studio loft in San Diego. Got rid of my car. I'm not going to pay storage. I'm not going to pay parking fee. I'm not paying the insurance. I'm going to take public transportation. I'm okay with that. I honestly, I wear the same damn thing every day. The only time I put makeup on is for this goddamn thing. and my live auctions and my freaking, oh my God, my posts and stuff like that, and my photo shoots and but honestly, I am happy. Like, I don't need much. I want to be comfortable, have food on the table, and not have to worry about, I don't want bills. My goal is not to have a bill. I'm so like, I'm telling you, look, all these that just pushing tiny homes or container homes or compatible homes and RVs on who I'm following. That's mostly what I search on Instagram. That's what pops up. And dogs, and then and animals and elephants and stuff like that. Yeah. You'll realize, I'm telling you, kids out there, take it from Grandma Lisa. Enjoy life, and just it's not about materialistic. What kind of car you drive? Who cares? If someone cares about what label you're wearing, that's not your friend.
Yeah, 100%. Well, it's been a pleasure. It's been great, and we'll do this again. We'll do it again sometime.
Thank you. Yay! Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and thank you, everybody. And I'm just very excited that people still want to interview me, and it's weird to me, to be honest with you, because I'm just so normal and just living the normal life. Seriously. So I appreciate everybody that wants to hear what I have to say.
Awesome. Those who've listened, follow her, Real Lisa Marie, everywhere you can. And of course, hit subscribe. We still got more exciting stuff coming up, and we will talk to you again next time.
And don't forget to like that button here, subscribe. That helps get a little a little bit recognition, and click that bell icon, that notification on all, so you get notified on all of his future interviews.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We'll see you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, darling.